President Herntzer, the Faculty Senate representative from the South Dakota School of Mines and Technology, Dr. Edward Corwin, has installed the mace. Please lead the procession of faculty and platform guests.
Once again to
our 167th commencement of the South Dakota School of Mines and Technology. As we convene this ceremony, please remain standing for the presentation of the colors by Army ROTC Color Guard cadets Jacob Denton, Timothy Wisnand, Zachary Wimmergren, and Will Kronk. Gentlemen, please remove your hats. Color Guard, present the colors. Please be seated. With our nation's colors now posted, I ask everyone to remember all Americans currently serving or who have served in our armed forces. Recently ranked #2 in the nation as Best for Vets, we are pleased today to have 8 veterans graduating. Please join me in thanking all active duty military personnel and veterans for their selfless service to our country. We would like to recognize special guests here with us this morning. Seated near the graduates is the wife of the acting president of the South Dakota School of Mines, Roya Hernser, South Dakota's First Lady, Linda Dugard, and friends and family of the Platform Party. And now, it is my distinct pleasure to introduce the acting president of the South Dakota School of Mines and Technology, Dr. Dwayne Hernser, who will conduct today's ceremony. Please welcome President Hernser.
Thank you, Christy. Good morning, everyone. Today we're gathered to recognize 4 associate, 213 baccalaureate, 46 master, and 4 PhD students. Today, these candidates join the ranks of more than 15,000 proud Mines alumni who, in their own professional careers, contribute to our university's incredible legacy of excellence. We will also recognize alumni from the classes of 1963, 1937, 1935, and 1936, as well as the 2013 Guy E. March medalist. You will find more information about each of our featured guests in the commencement program. We're pleased that the family and friends of our graduates are with us today. Our graduates would not be here today if you did not support them during their college careers. Your commitment to helping your students succeed is valued by all of us. Thank you for entrusting their education to the School of Mines and all you've done to make today possible. It's now my pleasure to introduce the representative of the senior class, Mr. Carlos Alberto Beatty, Jr. Carlos is a candidate for a Bachelor of Science degree in Industrial Engineering and Engineering Management with a 6 Sigma Green Belt certification and Innovative Technology certificate from Rapid City, South Dakota. During his tenure at Mines, Carlos was very active in the Student Association, serving as the president, Student Affairs Committee Chair, Finance Committee member, and South Dakota Student Federation member. He was instrumental in generating student support for enhanced wellness and recreation renovations and a new addition to the King Center. Carlos was also an active member of the American Society of Mechanical Engineering, Pershing Rifles, and the K-Tech campus radio station crew. He was a student representative on the university's 30-year campus master plan, beautification, and the new Student Wellness and Recreation Center building committees, as well as the Alumni Association. To acknowledge his outstanding leadership on campus, Carlos was inducted into the prestigious School of Mines Leadership Hall of Fame this spring. He was also voted M-Week King last fall. Off campus, Carlos was appointed by Mayor Quaker to be in the Rapid City Statutory Planning Commission as the Ward 2 Commissioner, and also serves on the Mount Rushmore Overlay District Subcommittee. Upon graduation, Carlos will begin his professional career as an Operations Associate Engineer for Peabody Energy at the North Antelope Rochelle Mine in Gillette, Wyoming. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Carlos Beatty, Jr.
Good morning, President and Mrs. Hernser, Governor and Mrs. Dugard, students, faculty, staff, alumni, family, and friends. Fellow graduates, I am honored to be your student commencement speaker. I am honored to address you, my fellow engineers and students, and I am honored, as I am sure you are, to accept the responsibility as the engineer and scientist, which is to hold paramount the safety, health, and welfare of the public. So reads the first canon of the National Society of Professional Engineers. The South Dakota School of Mines and Technology has been a leader in engineering and science for 128 years, Graduates, let us take pride in what we are now among the many Minds alumni who will forge the paths to success. 4 years. For few, a little less. For some, a little more. We have all worked hard, paid our dues, and prevailed through the good and the bad. I look around the room and I see the faces of the future. I see a legacy of excellence. I see the future leaders of this world. Leadership is more than just a title. Leadership is the ability not only to lead people in the direction best for the team, but to also foster and care for those who we will lead. A legacy of leadership cannot be made unless leaders mold others to be greater leaders than themselves. By asking others to assume their rightful place as leaders, we can create a better future for ourselves and for the next generations. We have all learned our own lessons. 1, never excessively eat food at the buffet line in Cerbec Center. It never ends well. 2, never think you can promise the student body that you will eat a gallon of mayonnaise to be homecoming king and think they'll forget. And finally, just because you're wearing a business suit doesn't mean you can do whatever you want, whenever you want. All humor aside, there are 3 most helpful lessons that I have learned, and perhaps you can also appreciate. Understand people. As engineers and scientists, we've been on teams and collaborations. We sometimes find it difficult to understand others' perspectives. What we may perceive as incompetence could be a failure on our part to consider another point of view. I ask all of us, as we go forth as emerging professionals, to listen to other people's perspectives. We do not have to agree, and we can feel free to disagree, especially when one's beliefs have been compromised. However, we must do so with respect and dignity. Don't wish, want. I wish I had an internship. I wish I learned how to snowboard. I wish I studied harder in that class. There is no such thing as wish if we want results. Wishing is an excuse. When we want something, then we need to make sure that we put in the effort and the time to achieve it. Turn the wishes into wants. In the words of the great and inspirational philosopher, Yoda, do or do not. There is no try. All this leads to my 3rd lesson: communicate effectively. Communication is the key to all success. How are we, as leaders, as engineers and scientists, and as human beings, ever to succeed without each other? Talk to each other, love each other, understand each other. I believe that these are the simple actions that can make a huge difference in our everyday lives and the outcome of our professional careers. I thank each of you for coming to this graduation ceremony, and may God bless all of us in our journeys. Graduates and alumni, remember, no matter what year we graduate, no matter how much the world changes, we will always be unified as brothers and sisters. We are unified as Minds alumni, and finally, as stated in our school song, each of us is a ramblin' wreck from Rapid Tech and a hell of an engineer. Go forth and continue the legacy of excellence. Thank you.
Thank you, Carlos. It's now my pleasure to introduce our commencement speaker, South Dakota Governor Dennis Daugaard. Governor Daugaard grew up on his family dairy farm between Garrickson and Del Rapids. Following graduation from Del Rapids High School, Governor Daugaard attended the University of South Dakota, where he obtained a Bachelor of Science degree in in government with minors in mathematics and psychology. He earned his law degree from Northwestern University. Over his professional career, Governor Dugard was a vice president of what is now U.S. Bank in Sioux Falls, the development director of the Children's Home Foundation, and later became the executive director of Children's Home Society of South Dakota. In 1996, he was elected to the South Dakota legislature and was later re-elected in 1998 and in 2000. Serving as a member of the State Affairs, Commerce, Education, Taxation, Judiciary, and Government Operations and Audit Committees, his legislative record was particularly focused on protecting children, helping the disabled, and lowering crime rates. In 2002, in June, Mike Rounds selected Governor Dugard to be his running mate as the Republican nominee for lieutenant governor, a team which would go on to win the 2002 election and later be re-elected in 2006. In June 2012, he successfully sought the Republican nomination for governor. He and his running mate, former House Speaker Matt Michaels of Yankton, were elected in November 2010 with a 62% vote, the highest for a new governor in 60 years. In January 8, 2011, he was sworn in as South Dakota's 32nd governor. Please join me in welcoming our governor, Dennis Dugard.
Well, I can see the excitement in your faces. I know anytime you get to hear an elected official speak, the room is always electric with anticipation. I remember being in your shoes and thinking at my graduation, how long is this guy going to talk? Well, you can relax, because as Henry VIII told his many wives, I won't keep you long. My wife Linda is with me, and she was introduced, and I appreciate that. I forgot to introduce my wife Linda at a speaking engagement once, and afterwards I thought I might be in trouble, but I didn't see any difference. The next day I didn't see any difference, but by the third day the swelling had gone down and I could see a little out of my left eye. I will be brief, but I do want to impart 3 messages today. 3 things. The first thing, I hope you'll remember your days here at the School of Mines. You'll remember maybe a professor who became, over time, a mentor and maybe a good friend. You'll maybe remember that first dorm assignment and your roommate that you met for the first time when you came to the dorm. And maybe that worked out and maybe it didn't. You'll maybe remember when the dorm was evacuated, if someone's microwave overheated some popcorn and set off the smoke alarm, or someone did that intentionally. You might remember an all-nighter you had to pull because you didn't really study as you had intended to do before that big exam, and you had to try and cram as you must. I hope you'll remember the friends you've made here. Over the course of your lives, you'll meet them again, sometimes in unexpected places, and you'll reminisce about the good times you had at Mines. Some of those friends you'll stay with, you'll connect with and remain friends with in close proximity to. You might see them every year, every month, maybe even every week. You might work in the same place they do. Some of the people here, you maybe met your spouse here. Maybe you'll be with them for the rest of your lives. So I hope you remember those good friends. I think you'll remember tailgating before a Hard Rocker game at O'Hara Stadium. Maybe you'll remember, as I do, the shock and dismay that we all felt at the sudden death of President Wharton. It made us all remember how precious is life, every day of life. But whatever your memories are, be grateful and hold on to them. Remember the South Dakota School of Mines and Technology. Mines will remain a great school if you keep it in your hearts and your minds. And remember that those who follow you count on you to help Mines maintain its standard of high excellence. So the first thing, remember these days. The second thing, and I'm sure you've heard this and it seems very trite, but it is very true. You need to dream big. You need to think about an unlimited future ahead and pursue that future with persistence and determination. As Carlos said, you can't just wish things. You need to want them and have the persistence and determination to make them come true. The world is really wide open to you at this stage of your life. You can really do anything you want. You can go any place, South Dakota or outside our borders, be anything you want. It really is up to you, and it's in your head mainly. I think in South Dakota we often underestimate ourselves. You know, we're a state of small population, a rural state. We tend to think of big as better. You've seen that AT&T commercial, is big better? And the kids say, oh yeah, bigger is better. We think that about all things sometimes. And we tend to think of other people as the doers in life. We don't think of ourselves as the doers. I've said to many young people over the years, the greatest obstacle you face in life is not whether you grew up on the wrong side of the tracks or your parents had problems with alcohol or your lifestyle wasn't what it should be or your economics weren't what you think it should have been. It isn't all those things. It's generally what's in your head that is the biggest obstacle to you in life. And if you can overcome that obstacle, if you can tell yourself, I can do something or I can be something, then you're on your way to accomplishing that. And this is hard because we all look at life through our own little prism. We all look at life through our experiences, and we're not really objective. Anais Nin said it this way: we don't see things as they are, we see things as we are. We see life through our prism. Carl Jung said it another way: it all depends on how we look at things and not on how they are. So he got it right. He realized that it's your prism and you can turn it and move it or remove it. And so think big. You know, my daughter Laura graduated from college a few years back, but when she was a couple, 3 years younger than you are right now, she had just finished her first year at college. And she took a job at Custer State Park, working in the game lodge there. And she wasn't a very worldly person at that point, and Lynn and I wanted to see the place where she was going to live. They have dormitories down near the game lodge, and she was going to live in the dormitories and work at the game lodge. And so we went to see the place where she was going to live, and then later visited her when she worked there. And I tell you this because when Laura took me around to show me the game lodge, if you've been there, you've seen there's lots of things named after Coolidge. There's Coolidge Creek, there's a Coolidge Suite in the game lodge, and many of you may know that the reason for that is because President Coolidge came to South Dakota in 1927. Back in the days before air conditioning, Washington, D.C. was a very hot and humid place to be in the summer. And so many of the government workers in those days left Washington to take a vacation in cooler spots. And President Coolidge picked Custer State Park in South Dakota for a 3-week vacation in May. And when he got here, when he got to the game lodge and saw what it was like, he loved it so much, he stayed 3 months in South Dakota. He made the game lodge the summer White House, and he conducted the affairs of the presidency of the United States from South Dakota for 3 months. Now that's all kind of interesting history about President Coolidge, but it's an aside. Really, the reason I'm bringing up President Coolidge is because he said something once that I think is very important, and I I've kept it in front of me for years. I've got it on my desk at the Capitol. He said this: "Nothing in the world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent." Now, I'm not knocking education, certainly, not in this arena, not with these people behind me. But the point he's making is that genius, talent, education, they're important tools, but unless you have persistence and determination, you won't go far. So don't limit yourself. Think big, dream big, dream big. And then don't just wish, but be persistent and determined and be omnipotent. You can do it. Minds has given you the tools. Now, it's up to you. So that's the second thing. First, remember minds. Second thing, be persistent and determined and dream big. The third thing is probably the most important thing. And if you forget the first two, I'll forgive you. But I won't forgive you if you forget this one. Don't forget the people who love you. It's hard to celebrate today if you're alone. In fact, the celebrations of life, weddings, birthdays, anniversaries, great days like this, are meaningless unless we have someone to celebrate with. I grew up on a farm near Del Rapids, and it was a small little farm, and it was back in the days when they still had country schools. And I went to a one-room country school. I was the only kid in my class. Of course, now that made me number one in my class. I want to point that out. Every Christmas we had a little school program, and in this room, and this room was about half the size of this stage, we'd pull a wire across the front and attach it to the walls, and we'd hang burlap curtains, and we kids would memorize poems, we'd sing Frosty the Snowman, we'd do little one-act plays, and we'd perform. And our parents, of course, were the audience, and my parents always came. They always came. When I was at the end of my 7th grade, the country school closed and was consolidated into the Del Rapids school district. And so I started riding the bus to Del Rapids. And I joined the band. I was a little bit behind my peers, but I learned how to play an instrument. And of course, we'd have our little concerts on the stage in the elementary gym. The parents would come and unfold folding chairs and sit in the gym and watch us and listen to the band. And my parents always came. And I joined the chorus. I wasn't very good, but my parents came to those concerts too, without fail, without fail. And now some of you are thinking, what's the big deal about that? Parents should always come and hear their kids recite a poem, or hear their kids play in the band, or hear their kids sing the chorus. But my parents did not come to hear me. You see, my parents were deaf. My parents were born deaf. So they sat in that gym for hours on end. Couldn't hear a thing. But they knew that I could see them and know that they loved me. We all want to be loved, for someone to care about us and to approve of us and celebrate with us. And so it is today. The arena is filled with people who really don't care what I have to say, don't care about the people on the stage, and don't care about most of the others here, but there's one person they care about. One person they love. That's you. So today, I know many of you are looking forward to a great adventure. moving to a new place, taking a new job, meeting new friends. The great unknown out there is exciting, and it is going to be a great adventure for you. Still, as you look forward to that adventure, don't forget the people who love you. And many have made great sacrifices for you. At the end of your careers, at the end of your days on the world, on earth, it won't be that great job. It won't be that contract you signed. It won't be that project you completed. It'll be the people that love you, that you care about, that mean the most to you. They'll be thousands of times more important than any of those other things. So don't forget them. I'm going to close now. My job has been to speak. Your job has been to listen. I want to get done with my job before you get done with yours. So I want to thank you for having me. It's been an honor to speak. I talked about dreaming big, and I want to close on that note. Mines is a great university. South Dakota is a great state. And even though I've been governor now for a little over 2 years, it's really hard to believe that this farm kid who used to wash eggs in a 5-gallon bucket in the basement of an old rickety farmhouse could ever be governor and talking to probably 1,000 people here today. Here I am. I asked Linda, I said, Linda, in your wildest dreams, would you ever have seen me as governor addressing the commencement speech at Mines? And she said, Dennis, honey, you're not in my wildest dreams. So congratulations, dream big, and may your dreams come true.
Well, thank you, Governor Dugard, for joining us today and sharing those inspiring words. South Dakota School of Mines and Technology operates under the authority of the South Dakota Board of Regents. This morning, we're pleased to have Regent Dr. Catherine Johnson with us to represent the board. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Johnson.
Good morning, President Hernser, honored guests, faculty, staff, parents, spouses, friends, but most importantly, graduates of 2013. It's a delight for me to represent the Board of Regents here today. I think of commencements as a celebration of the talent we have in South Dakota and the state's commitment to higher education. Graduates, I congratulate you on your achievements and bring you best wishes from the Regents. And to all of you out there that have been part of the support team, the Regents say thank you. We understand the important contribution of family and friends to a student's success. And now to the graduates. I'm going to take this opportunity to say a few words about my view of the responsibilities that come with your diploma. Your degree is very valuable. It will not only get you that first good job or a place in graduate or professional school, but it will be forever your ticket to opportunities that are reserved for college graduates. And I want to recognize over the past year and a half that School of Mines has gone through a tough time with the illness and death of President Wharton. But through it all, the quality of your education and the worth of your degree did not suffer. In fact, all the quality metrics stayed on track and the value of your degree grew. And a large measure of credit for this goes to our acting president and provost, Dr. Dwayne Hernser. We have all benefited by his steady hand, his leadership, and his understanding of the mission of the university in his service as both the Vice President of Academic Affairs and Commander of the President's Office. So Dwayne, on behalf of all of us, a big thank you. And now for the responsibilities. Never in our history has education been as important as it is at this moment. Everywhere you look, you see predictions about the United States falling behind in an educated workforce. The Department of Labor is continually reminding us of the high proportion of jobs, today's jobs as well as those that will be created in the future, that require post-secondary education, and many of those jobs in the fields of science, engineering, and technology. And besides a job, you are stepping into a very important role of an informed, participating citizen. Do you know that those with college degrees are far more likely to vote, pay taxes, and contribute to their community with volunteer service than those without similar education? This social and economic participation is what builds strong communities, our towns, cities, our state and nation. But against this backdrop of increasing need for education, there's a real disturbing trend. Students require and get far better education than I had when I was in your spot over 30 years ago. But the level of public funding has been declining, which causes your tuition and fees to increase more than they should. But however, despite that increase in the price to you, your degree is the single best investment that you can make in your future. But looking forward, it will be up to you to become leaders in the effort to support education. To keep education affordable, each of you needs to be a champion of public higher education and make the case for its support wherever and whenever you have a chance. Remind people every day of the value of education in keeping our nation strong and keeping us competitive in the global marketplace. Get involved in national and state political debates and make sure that the education you received is available to serve both the individual and the public good for those coming after you. But on this happy day, reflect for a moment on the history of South Dakota School of Mines, the history that you are now a part of. It was established in 1885. Mines began preparing engineers for the local industry. So for over 125 years, Mines has produced thousands of engineers and scientists. And over time, spread over the globe, these graduates from here are making the world a better place. And now it's your turn. So with your college experience behind you and your degree in hand, I am confident that you are prepared to take on the big challenges we face. And now, by the authority vested in me by the Constitution of the state of South Dakota, I hereby delegate to President Hernser the right to confer diplomas with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto.
Thank you, Dr. Johnson. Dr. Patricia Mann, Vice President for Student Affairs and Dean of Students, will present the degree candidates.
Good morning. I will read only the names of those degree candidates who are present this morning. Those who were unable to attend, but whose names are listed in the commencement program, will be awarded their diplomas in absentia. We welcome and encourage your applause for each graduate, but we ask that you refrain from using air horns and other noisemakers so that we may preserve decorum and respect for our graduates, their families, and our visitors. As the graduates line up to receive their diplomas, families and guests are reminded that they are invited to come to the front to take pictures as the graduates shake hands with the president and march across the stage. President Hernser will now confer the Associate of Arts degrees.
Will the candidates for the Associate of Arts degrees please rise? By virtue of the authority vested in me by the South Dakota Board of Regents, I hereby confer upon you the degree Associate of Arts. with all of the rights, privileges, and honors, as well as obligations and responsibilities thereto appertaining.
Candidates for the degree, Associates of Arts in General Studies, please come forward to receive your diploma and be congratulated by Dr. Sue Shirley, Head of the Departments of Humanities and Social Sciences. Caitlin Christina Muller. Melinda Ann Passmore.
Will the candidates for the Bachelor of Science degrees please rise? By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Regents, I hereby confer upon you the degree Bachelor of Science, with all the rights, privileges, and honors, as well as obligations and responsibilities thereto appertaining. Please be seated.
Candidates for the degree Bachelor of Science in Applied and Computational Mathematics, please come forward to receive your diplomas and be congratulated by Dr. Kyle Riley, Head of the Department of Mathematics and Computer Science. Louisa Marie Burden. Kayla Marie Fawcett. Nathan Andrew Schmidt. Brian Thomas Vogel. Candidates for the degree Bachelor of Science in Chemical Engineering, please come forward to receive your diplomas and be congratulated by Dr. Rob Winter, Head of the Department of Chemical and Biological Engineering. Brittany Ann Alley. Brock Blankenship. Aaron David Blender, cum laude. Belima Bella Boyle. Ryan Carter. Caitlin Jo Yulberg. Mitchell Allen Yulberg. Kayla Marie Fawcett. Barbara Ann Marie Hadrava. Stephen James Hansen, cum laude. Ahmad Mazin Hassan. Daniel Ethan Hines, summa cum laude. Joseph Dakota Hauk. Michael Thomas Locker. Trevor Larson, cum laude. Travis Andrew Noah, summa cum laude. Ryan Lee Peterson, magna cum laude. Sandy Rutledge. Luke Sweeney. Jamie Lynn Trask. Ryan James Webster. Jonathan Gregory Williams, cum laude. Candidate for the degree Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering, please come forward to receive your diplomas and be congratulated by Dr. Molly Gribb, Head of the Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering. Seth Adams. Wasim Babulda. Majid Ali Ba'ali. Stephen Joseph Barnett. Cole Gary Bedford. Joseph William Hanson Bender. James Abbott Dean. Richard Thomas Everett. Gregory James Gropentine. Missy Guthmiller. Matthew Henderson. Shane R. Herod. Jake Hadlis, magna cum laude. Austin August Hayline. Thomas George Jones III. Trent Joseph Jungworth. Ashwin Karanathra, cum laude. Caleb Joseph Nielsen Sheffield, summa cum laude. Joseph J. Pyle. Brian Robert Rappelt, summa cum laude. Brandon John Solik. Kyle Ryan Zors. Candidates for the degree Bachelor of Science in Computer Engineering, please come forward to receive your diplomas and be congratulated by Dr. Kazem Sarabi, Head of the Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering. Ian Mackenzie Carlson, magna cum laude. Ian Michael Hibbard. Chad Matthew Shoney. Candidates for the degree Bachelor of Science in Computer Science, please come forward to receive your diplomas and be congratulated by Dr. Riley. Jordan Blake Dale, cum laude. David Brian Jarman. Christopher Jensen. Joshua Kincaid. Trevor Brooke Mahoney, magna cum laude. Michael Makowski. Rachel Hope Pekarik, cum laude. Anudeep Padapali. Travis James Rouse. Brian Thomas Vogel. Hayden James Wisenan, summa cum laude. Jeremy B. Warner, magna cum laude. Austin Matthew Wentz. Candidates for the degree Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering, please come forward to receive your diplomas and be congratulated by Dr. Sarabi. Jonathan Michael Brecht. Sean Robert Bestian, summa cum laude. Andrew Thomas Bauer. Travis Michael Clark. Daniel Thomas Frenshu, summa cum laude. Christopher Healy. Jimmy Clark Higgins, magna cum laude. Ryan Hopfinger. Rachel Marie Joseph, cum laude. Garrett Michael Kirkpatrick. Megan Mahowald. Jordan Scott Miller. Jarrett Robert Riemann. Joshua Allen Sherman, magna cum laude. Alex John Weidenbach. Candidates for the degree Bachelor of Science in Environmental Engineering, please come forward to receive your diplomas and be congratulated by Dr. Gribb. Jonathan Fleck. Tyler John Hengen. Michelle Elizabeth Kelly, magna cum laude. John Anthony Oztimer. Candidates for the degree Bachelor of Science in Geological Engineering, please come forward to receive your diploma and be congratulated by Dr. Lori Anderson, Head of the Department of Geology and Geological Engineering. Nicholas Taylor Cook. Catherine Rose Dorschmidt. Drew Allen Felton, cum laude. Melissa Marie Heron, cum laude. Candidates for the degree Bachelor of Science in Geology, please come forward to receive your diploma and be congratulated by Dr. Anderson. Patrick John Chalupski. Elena Ann Fike. Alexis Godeke. Elena Ann Keitlinger. Clinton Daniel Kauk, summa cum laude. Mark Randall Mayfield. Scott Allen Thofern. Candidates for the degree Bachelor of Science in Industrial Engineering and Engineering Management, please come forward to receive your diplomas and be congratulated by Dr. Stuart Kellogg, Head of the Department of Industrial Engineering. Mohammed Al-Fahad. Carlos Alberto Beatty, Jr. Bernice Berber. Theodore Glenn Bjorglund. Jared Lawrence Dykstra. Zane Dean Graham. Jesse Ross Happy. Tyler Allen Krejci. Anna Elise Molman, magna cum laude. Shalane D. Moore. Preston James Oyhus, cum laude. An T. Wong Pham, magna cum laude. Candidates for the degree Bachelor of Science in Interdisciplinary Sciences, please come forward to receive your diplomas and be congratulated by Dr. Sue Shirley, Head of the Departments of Humanities and Social Sciences, and Dr. Andrew Detweiler, Head of the Department of Atmospheric Sciences. Haley Grace Galvin, cum laude. Dylan Christopher Kottner. Brittany Janelle Ledoux, cum laude. Emily Ashrid Augustine Shadow. Cody Tyler Molden, cum laude. Rachel Ashley Noblet, cum laude. Oli Olson. Todd Curtis Sherman. Chelsea Steen. Zachary Maurice Stone. Catherine Ann Strandholm, magna cum laude. Shane Sweeney. Alan Jonathan Trenopole. JC Nicole Wimpf, summa cum laude. Deidre Colleen Brandenberger Wolf, cum laude. Candidates for the degree Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering, please come forward to receive your diplomas and be congratulated by Dr. Michael Langerman, Head of the Department of Mechanical Engineering. Brandon J. Andreen. Chase Alois Beyer. Colin Bennett, cum laude. Devin Daniel Berge. Stephen Dane Christensen, summa cum laude. Joseph Acole Deng. Levi William Dexter, magna cum laude. Trini Douglas. Jack Guerin Fowler, cum laude. Jessie Marie Guthels, magna cum laude. David Mark Haberman, summa cum laude. Daniel C. Hof. Daniel Jordan Cook, magna cum laude. James Russell Krause, Jr. Randall L. Lloyd. Christopher James Murachowski, magna cum laude. Kyle Jacob Nibel, magna cum laude. Joshua Nossaman. Michael Ryan Notaboom. Blake Oliver. Grady Scott Perrine. Tyler John Pojanowski, cum laude. Jonathan Michael Sander, cum laude. Ryan Matthew Shear, cum laude. Daniel Scott. Darren Scott. Christopher J. Shagla. Wade Michael Stahl. Ryan Dominic Taylor. Brent Lee Trotter, cum laude. Cody Joseph Vaustad, cum laude. Tanner Allen Wald, cum laude. David John Wolf. Jonathan Edward Zocker, cum laude. Candidates for the degree Bachelor of Science in Metallurgical Engineering, Please come forward to receive your diplomas and be congratulated by Dr. Michael West, head of the Departments of Materials and Metallurgical Engineering. Stephen Andrew Berwick. Brett Nathaniel Carlson. Morgan Landis Singluck Carter. Matthew Hicks. Timothy Dale Johnson. Martha Victoria Kresbach. Casey Michael Plachek. Keegan Rogers. Darren Scott. Jordan Michael Smith. William Huger Stranger. Dustin Robert Templey. James Lee Tomich. Mitchell Paul Williams. Candidates for the degree Bachelor of Science in Mining Engineering, please come forward to receive your diplomas and be congratulated by Mr. Sashi Kanth, head of the Department of Mining Engineering and Management. Lauren Berry. Eric Alexander Carlson. Crystal Rose Croston. David Jacob Fielding. Jared Collins Francis. Cody Lauren Gobbs. Richard Timothy Hondoko, magna cum laude. Grace Catherine Henker. Tucker Ross Jensen. James Patrick McGough, cum laude. Mackenzie Marie Nolan. Eben Joseph Nordahl. Frederick Philip Shilplin IV. Justine Victoria Sorensen. Candidate for the degree Bachelor of Science in Physics, please come forward to receive your diploma and be congratulated by Dr. Andrei Petrikov, head of the Department of Physics. David Brian Smith. That concludes the presentation of our baccalaureate diplomas.
Will the bachelor's degree recipients please rise? I offer you my personal congratulations and best wishes on behalf of the entire School of Mines family. I now permit you to move the tassel on your mortarboard from right to left. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the School of Mines undergraduate class 2013. You may be seated. Will the candidates for the Master of Science degree please rise? By virtue of the authority vested in me by the South Dakota Board of Regents, I hereby confer upon you the degree Master of Science, with all the rights, privileges, and honors, as well as obligations thereto appertaining, contingent upon the completion of all requirements.
Candidates for the degree Master of Science in Atmospheric and Environmental Sciences, please come forward to receive your diplomas and be congratulated by Department Head Dr. Detweiler and Graduate Dean Doug Wells. Kurt Choansky. Kathy Jo Hazelhorst. Christopher Alexander Redman. Christine Jane Sandvik. Candidate for the degree Master of Science in Chemical Engineering, please come forward to receive your diploma and be congratulated by Department Head Dr. Winter and Graduate Dean Doug Wells. Kirk Anthony Olson. Candidates for the degree Master of Science in Civil Engineering, please come forward to receive your diplomas and be congratulated by Department Head Dr. Gribb and Dean Wells. Nicholas Michael Marnock. Ivar Melby. Angelica Muravoeva. Molly Louise Pruis. Candidate for the degree Master of Science in Computational Science and Robotics, please come forward to receive your diploma and be congratulated by Department Head Dr. Riley and Dean Wells. Lucas Michael Jacobs. Candidate for the degree Master of Science in Construction Management, please come forward to receive your diploma and be congratulated by Program Coordinator Dr. Scott Amos and Dean Wells. Aaron Lee Olson. Candidates for the degree Master of Science in Electrical Engineering, please come forward to receive your diplomas and be congratulated by Department Head Dr. Sarabi and Dean Wells. Rizvi Ahmed. Alex Andrew Breck. Wafi Danesh. M.D. Nafis Khan. Candidates for the degree Master of Science in Engineering Management, please come forward to receive your diplomas and be congratulated by Department Head Dr. Kellogg and Dean Wells. Yasir Alzarani. Deborah Ray Beanert. Adam Jacob Lundgren. Scott Thomas May. Soni Suthmitra Popuri. Caleb Howard Shervam. Akriti Sharma. Candidates for the degree Master of Science in Geology and Geological Engineering, please come forward to receive your diploma and be congratulated by Department Head Dr. Anderson and Dean Wells. Miraf Habitwald Amare. Rebecca Anderson. Catherine Rose Orand. Jennifer Marie Bendar. Kathleen Marie Grigg. Kelsey Ryan Marsel. Jonathan Dennis Roger George McCaskey. J. Richard Napola. Michael Takeaste Takelei. Mingwei Chang. Candidates for the degree Master of Science in Materials Engineering and Science, please come forward to receive your diplomas and be congratulated by Program Coordinator Dr. John Keller and Dean Wells. Quan Fei Hay. J. Eugene Marshall. Nathan Paul Saunders. Ellen Elizabeth Sauter. Candidates for the degree Master of Science in Physics, please come forward to receive your diplomas and be congratulated by Department Head Dr. Petchukov and Dean Wells. Noha Alzarani. Douglas R. Teat. That concludes the presentation of the master's degrees.
Will the candidates for the Doctor of Philosophy degree please rise? By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Regents, I hereby confer upon you the degree Doctor of Philosophy, with all the rights, privileges, and honors, as well as the obligations and responsibilities thereto appertaining, contingent upon completion of all requirements.
Doctoral candidates, please come forward. Mohanad Tarifi, candidate for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Nanoscience and Nanoengineering, Please come forward to receive your degree from President Hernser and be congratulated by Program Coordinator Dr. Steve Smith. Dean Wells and Dr. Dimitri Aghanoustu, Mohanad's major professor, will assist in the hooding ceremony. I now present Dr. Mohanad Tarifi. Monica Rathi Dutta, candidate for the degree, Doctor of Philosophy in Nanoscience and Nanoengineering, please come forward to receive your degree from President Hernser and be congratulated by Dr. Smith. Dean Wells and Dr. Phil Ehrenkiel, Monica's major professor, will assist in the hooding. I now present Dr. Monica Rathi Dutta. Ravi Shankar, candidate for the degree, Doctor of Philosophy in Nanoscience and Nanoengineering, please come forward to receive your degree from President Hernser and be congratulated by Dr. Smith. Dean Wells and Dr. Keith Whitus, Ravi's major professor, will assist in the hooding ceremony. I now present Dr. Ravi Shankar.
Each year, it is the privilege to recognize South Dakota School of Mines and Technology alumni who are celebrating their 50-year anniversaries. Their lifetimes of outstanding achievements have been the foundation of our reputation and the legacy of excellence for which we are known. 141 graduates were honored in May of 1963, and we are privileged to have 25 with us today. It's always a joy to welcome you back to campus.
As your name is called, please step forward to receive a certificate from President Hernser and be congratulated by Alumni Association Executive Vice President and past Alumni President, Dr. Paul Gnurk. After you receive your certificate, you may return to your seat. Ronald Beeger, Mechanical Engineering. Paul Besseliever, Jr., Electrical Engineering. Scott Breckenfield, Metallurgical Engineering. Russell Bice, Electrical Engineering. James. Jim Kaufman, Mechanical Engineering. Archie Doring, Mechanical Engineering. John Erickson, Mechanical Engineering. Guy Everhart, Civil Engineering. James Fry, Mechanical Engineering. Lloyd Greiner, Electrical Engineering. William Cass, Chemistry. John Mallow, Mechanical Engineering. Daniel Mathidas, Mechanical Engineering. Charles Meyer, Mechanical Engineering. Oliver Pettick, Electrical Engineering. Harold Schaefer, Mechanical Engineering. Glenn Schilberg, Chemical Engineering. Phil Severance, Electrical Engineering. Charles Schmidt, Metallurgical Engineering. Theodore Smolik, Metallurgical Engineering. Charles Snyder, Mechanical Engineering. Michael Stensis, Mechanical Engineering. Tim Taylor, Chemistry.
Congratulations, gentlemen. We thank you for joining us today. May the success you've enjoyed in your lives and careers serve as a model to us all. At this time, I'd like to call upon Dr. Gnurk to the lectern to introduce this year's recipient of the Guy E. March Medal.
Thank you, Dr. Hernser. In 1974, the Guy March Silver Medal was established to honor the dedicated service of Professor Guy March to the South Dakota School of Mines and Technology, to its alumni, to its staff, its faculty, and its students. Not many of you know of or remember Professor March, but he was a professor of mathematics. He was the head of the mathematics department, and he created the official Alumni Association for the South Dakota School of Mines and Technology. Each year, we award to one of our alumnus the March Medal. That individual must have the attributes that are similar to those of Professor March. This year, our recipient of the March Medal is Vernon Bump, and I'd ask Mr. Bump to come forward to the podium for a few minutes while I recite his bio, please. Vernon?
Take it easy, buddy.
Just so you know, Vernon Bump's a very good friend of mine. Vernon Bump grew up in the shadow of the South Dakota School of Mines and Technology. His father was Dr. James Bump, who was the director of the museum. And many of you, perhaps, in Surbeck Center are familiar with the Bump Lounge. That was named after Vernon's father. Vernon graduated from Rapid City High School. At that time, it was the only public high school in Rapid City. In 1961, he graduated from the South Dakota School of Mines and Technology with a degree in geological engineering. During his time, good degree. During that period of time, he was very active in the drill and crucible, and he was a member of Theta Tau fraternity. In the fall, I knew that would get some response. In the latter part of 1961, he went to work for the South Dakota Department of Transportation in Pierre, South Dakota. He went to work in the division of foundations in the department, and he went to work under the tutelage of Walt Grimes, who was also one of our graduates. Walt Grimes was the foundations engineer for the state of South Dakota. Some years later, Walt left, and Vernon became the foundations engineer for the state of South Dakota. In fact, he spent 40 years in that position in the South Dakota Department of Transportation. His legacy lives on forever. He retired in 2001. 2003, he was elected the South Dakota Transportation Hall of Honor for all his attributes during the time in which he worked at the department. During those years, Vernon also served two 3-year terms, as a director for the Alumni Association. He was very much involved in creating and instrumental in creating the alumni group in Pierre, South Dakota, which meets every January, the first or second week, known as the Tailgate Party. Vernon's been there for 18 years now. He's always entered in the chili contest with his mystery chili, and you wonder after 18 years how it can still be a mystery to everybody anyway. Anyway, he's been very involved. He's helped a lot of students in the South Dakota School of Mines and Technology over the years. He's hired students in the summer. He hired them as full-time. Whenever students or faculty members in civil engineering, geological engineering, needed a tour of what was going on in the road division or wherever, Vernon was always available to help out and to contribute his time very much. He was a teacher off the campus of the School of Mines and Technology to many students. So before I sum up, I need to point out one other attribute. It's the other part of the Bump family. And so I would like to have his wife, Gloria Bump, stand, please. Gloria, would you stand? And there's a very large entourage of Bump people here. Would you please stand? To sum up just one more story, about 10 years ago, I was visiting Vernon and Gloria at their home in Pierre, South Dakota one afternoon, and Gloria went downstairs in the lower part of the house, and she came back, and folded over her arm was a graduation robe. And she said, "Paul, this graduation robe was Vernon's father. When his father was a faculty member and the director of the museum at the South Dakota School of Mines and Technology." Gloria said, "Paul, we would like to have you have this robe." Today, I wear that robe. I've worn it now for 20-some commencements here at the School of Mines, and I'm very honored to do so. Vernon and Bump, I have two things in common. We have this robe, and above all, Vernon and I each personally knew Professor Guy March when he was a faculty member here. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the recipient of the 2013 Guy March Silver Medal, Vernon Bump.
Standing before you is a very humbled School of Mines alumnus. I do go back to the School of Mines for a long time. I'm 75 years old, but believe it or not, I've been with the School of Mines longer than that. See, my dad graduated in '29. My mother was a trained secretary, and I'm pretty sure that she was helping my dad with papers and secretarial work, plus being a faculty wife. So therefore, I was on this campus before I was born. When I was in the 5th or 6th grade at Wilson Grade School, I was honored to be able to use the School of Mines swimming pool in the old gym in the basement. I took swimming lessons there. That was the first F that I got at the School of Mines. I still can't swim. Dr. Gnerk indicated that I knew Professor March. It's true. And I knew he and his wife before I was a student, of course, being around the campus as one of the kids of the faculty. But I also had Pop March for calculus. I liked Pop March so well in his calc program that I decided to take it a second year. But he was a great instructor, and I surely will never forget him. I've had a great career with the Department of Transportation. That's all due to thanks to our taxpayers that had hired me, and thanks to the taxpayers that allowed me the great education to continue in that career. The Bump family does go back. As on the other side, my mother's side of the family, I have, let's see, one uncle, Bump, that's a graduate. And on my mother's side, I have two uncles in the Davis family and an aunt. My aunt Alice attended the School of Mines. She ended up with a great career with Boeing. And last but not least is my big brother sitting back there, Jim. So there's been a lot in my family attached with the school. I grew up on this campus, essentially. And I just love the South Dakota School of Mines and Technology. I do have some advice for you graduates, believe it or not. I would advise you to take full advantage of the Alumni Association. Keep in touch with it. It's a great tool. You'll find this young lady over here. This will be an opportunity on the Hard Rock magazine to let your fellow School of Miners know that you have an upcoming wedding. And this guy over here, you'll be able to let them know about your first son. It's a great organization, and every 5 years we have a reunion. I've climbed that hill every reunion since, I suppose, since I was old enough to climb the hill with my dad. But there's been a lot of them, and I surely invite you all back to the next reunion, and I hope that I will see you on the hill. I will be there, and I will not ride up. I will walk as usual. So I'd like to congratulate you all. I've had a great career, education here. Like I say, I love this school, and good luck to you all. I know you're going to do great in your careers. Thank you. Thank you very much, folks.
Thank you, Vern. The privilege of university presidents is the conferral of degrees on students our faculty and staff have taught, mentored, and supported through their academic pursuits. This culmination is a celebration for all of us. New Minds alumni, it's been my honor today to share this milestone on your journey. I am confident that the future of the world, in your hands, will be a better place for all of us. Congratulations.
Thank you, President Hernser. What a great day in the life of a university. As we close our commencement ceremony, I want to thank the School of Mines Brass Choir under the direction of Dr. Kenneth Drobnak, the 167th Commencement Committee, and others who contributed to make today's event a success. And now, please stand and remain standing until the colors have been retired and the academic recessional has been completed. Thank you for joining us, and again, congratulations to the class of 2013. Color guard, retire the colors.